Hello, my name is Nicky Dee and I love dinosaurs. Now today I'm going to talk to you about the Bone Wars. This is a great adventure story, a true story about two scientists and their battle to become the most famous fossil hunter in the whole wide world. Now it takes place in America at a time called the Great Dinosaur Rush, when the hunt for dinosaurs started to get very exciting. Here we go, The Bone Wars by Nicky Dee. If you think that the battle to be the best paleontologist in the world sounds boring, think again. This is the true story of how two men started out as friends but soon became sworn enemies, all because they wanted to be the best. Was it a fair fight, or did they use sneaky tactics to achieve their goal? Did they behave like perfect gentlemen, or did they spy, cheat and tell tales? Let's find out. Who does that bone belong to? People have been finding fossils for thousands of years, but until fairly recently, they had no idea who or what they belonged to. The ancient Greeks and Romans thought they belonged to cyclopses and griffins. The Chinese thought they belonged to dragons, and some people thought they belonged to Roman war elephants. More than 340 years ago, an Englishman called the Reverend Robert Plot examined part of a massive thigh bone, or a femur. He had a really long think about where it came from, but he had nothing to compare it to. So he decided that it must have been part of a giant human, like the ones talked about in the Bible. It truly was a mystery. In 1824, another Englishman, William Buckland, he examined part of the skeleton and jawbone of a huge creature and called it Megalosaurus. Megalosaurus, we know, means great lizard. But at the time, he didn't know he'd found a dinosaur. It was more than 20 years before the word dinosaur, which means terrible lizard, was invented by an English professor called Richard Owen. He had a theory that these very, very large bones belonged to a new type of animal, a group that might contain hundreds, even thousands of new creatures. And how right he was. This helped change the way that people thought about life on Earth forever. They began to realise that humans weren't the first creatures to have lived on Earth. Something had been here before, and looking at the size of the bones compared to a man's, something much, much bigger. This is the beginning of a true story about two American scientists and the very important part they played in the hunt for dinosaurs. These two men met because they were both fascinated by all sorts of animals that lived a long, long time ago. So if you'd like to read more, if you want to find out which of the two dinosaur hunters discovered the most dinosaurs and see just how they got on or how they didn't get on and all the antics that they are very famous for, then please go to our website where you can buy a copy of the book. I hope you enjoy reading it. I certainly enjoyed doing the research and finding out about these two amazing scientists, Marsh and Cope, who are famous for all the very, very good things they did for paleontology, as well as all the naughty things they got up to. So, until we meet again, keep roaring!